The stars over Gerelion Prime had begun to flicker, not from distance or dust, but from destruction. Satellites, relay stations, defense grids, one by one, they winked out, replaced by cold silence and burning wreckage. From the fractured bridge of the Veilari flagship, Commander Rixtil of the Avani Resistance slumped forward, antennae low. He studied the crimson line creeping across the tactical display. The Zoran hegemony, ever efficient, ever predictable, would reach their position within hours. "We are alone," he muttered. A young winged officer whispered, "There's still Earth." Rixtil didn't lift his head. "Earth's silence has spoken louder than any weapon. They will not come." Above them, the comms array sputtered and died. Half a galaxy away, Earth wasn't silent. It was waiting. Deep within the icy belt of the Sol system, hidden behind a veil of magnetic storms, Project Lazarus came to life. Engines thrummed, fusion cores cycled, and warships stirred from hibernation like beasts waking from a long, patient sleep. On the bridge of the EHS Dauntless, Captain Elara Vance stood, silhouetted by the rising glow of activation protocols. Her uniform bore no decorative brass, only a single silver bar and a patch that read, "We end the silence." "Status?" she asked, voice clipped but calm. A chorus of screens flickered to life, lights blinked in affirmation. Somewhere behind her, someone dropped a wrench with a clatter. "God's cosmic boots," came a mutter. "This ship hasn't flown since I had hair." Dr. Raj Patel, lead engineer, squatted beneath an open console, half buried in tangled cables and frustration. His black jumpsuit was covered in carbon scuffs, and his thick-rimmed glasses were fogged. "Give me 5 more minutes, and a miracle, and I'll have the nav relays purring like a genetically enhanced house cat." "You have 3, Elara replied, "and I don't believe in miracles." From a couch welded to the wall by duct tape, Sasha Nebula Kim swiveled around, her tablet glowing with alien linguistics. "You should," she said cheerily. "Statistically, humanity shouldn't have survived its first planetary war, or the second, or the Kardashians," Raj interjected. "Exactly. Yet here we are." Elara didn't smile, but the corner of her lip twitched, almost imperceptibly. The 4th member of the bridge team burst in with a half-eaten protein bar and the smell of burnt ozone. Corporal Dex Ramirez, formerly of Earth's disbanded Urban Tactical Course, was shirtless, singed, and inexplicably wearing snow goggles. "Good news," he said, tossing a blinking device to Raj. "Fix the secondary coolant leak. Bad news, I may have set fire to the cryo garden. Accidentally." "Elaborate." "Let's call it controlled ignition with a side of enthusiasm." Sasha giggled. Raj groaned. Elara sighed. "This is the team that's going to scare the galaxy back into balance?" she asked no one in particular. "No," Raj said. "We're going to confuse the hell out of it. Then we hit it with railguns." The Galactic Resistance's last beacon had gone dark 3 days ago. Official channels were corrupted. Civilian fleets had either gone underground or surrendered. The Zorin, efficient to the point of horror, were erasing entire histories without a whisper of regret. Project Lazarus had been Earth's contingency, not a fleet of sheer numbers, but a concept. Fleets with adaptive AI, human-commanded chaos matrices, and modular systems capable of reconfiguring mid-battle. Not just weapons. Wonders. "Jump coordinates loaded," Raj called, snapping his gum as his fingers danced over the console. "We're threading a quantum needle here. 1 decimal off, and we phase into a son or your mother's living room." "Don't insult my mother," Dex said. "She bakes better than you solder." The ship groaned as engines fired. Energy surged through the Dauntless like adrenaline through a beast's veins. "Punch it," Elara ordered. The stars twisted. The Dauntless disappeared. Moments, or perhaps lifetimes, later, the ship re-emerged in the shadow of Jarelian Prime's ring system. The view was chaos. Wreckage floated like bones in a celestial graveyard. Pockets of resistance fought losing battles across fractured orbital paths. An alien cruiser exploded in a bloom of green light. "Just in time," Raj whispered. "Comms?" Elara asked. Sasha typed rapidly. "Zorin channels are locked. Resistance using short bursts, encrypted. Give me 60 seconds. "Dex," Elara said. Already moving, Dex yanked open a wall panel, pulling out something labeled "Do Not Touch unless you're planning to start a war." "Time to knock." On the Velari flagship, Commander Rixtel stared at the flashing proximity alert. His second-in-command stared, confused. "New contact. Massive signature. Human." Rixtel frowned. "Impossible." The stars lit up again, this time not from destruction but from power. Ships. Dozens. Hundreds. Each with unfamiliar silhouettes. Sharp. Angular. Alive. And at the center of the formation, glowing with eerie calm, was the Dauntless. A message crackled through every channel, override code bypassing even Zorin encryption. Elara's voice rang out, clear, confident. "To those still fighting, you are not alone. To those who would extinguish hope, we are Earth's answer. Let's show them what humanity really means." And across the stars, something shifted. Not just in tactics or momentum, but in belief. Hope had a new voice, and it arrived aboard a warship named Dauntless. The void between stars was never empty, just unseen. For the Dauntless, now leading Earth's restored fleet into the outer war zones, the void was a gauntlet. And their next move would define the fate of the Resistance. "Jump diagnostic stable," Raj said, running a final systems check. "Slipstream is ready to engage." Elara stood at the helm, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the stars. "We jump now. We're gambling everything on a route that's never been tested in wartime." "Ma'am, with respect," Raj said, "this entire ship is a gambling problem wearing armor." Dex leaned against the bulkhead, eating freeze-dried mango with a knife. "You want safe? We could just turn around. Find a nice asteroid belt. Open a noodle bar." Sasha, eyes on her console, murmured, "Resistance forces are dwindling. If we don't make it to the Jurelian perimeter within 6 hours, they'll be vapor." Elara nodded. "Initiate the fold. We jump." The ship's engines screamed in silence. Space tore sideways. Then everything went wrong. The Dauntless emerged not near Jurelian, but inside a dense nebula, one filled with electromagnetic storms and radioactive debris. Visibility: near zero. Navigation: fried. Communications: scrambled by ionic interference. "Well," Raj said after a beat, "we're somewhere between completely lost and surprise funeral." Dex tapped the side of his helmet. "I just picked up a signal. Not from the fleet. Alien code. Panicked. Repeating." Elara turned sharply. "Location?" "Dead ahead. 5 clicks." Sasha leaned forward, decoding the signal live. "It's a Kovari scout ship. Insectoid bioships. Ancient allies of the Resistance. Still alive?" "Barely." Elara didn't hesitate. "Bring them aboard." The Kovari vessel was more organic than metal. Half the hull slashed open like a wounded animal. The Dauntless latched on with magnetic clamps, and the team moved fast. Inside the bay, 3 Kovari survivors lay unconscious. Their breathing was rapid, erratic. "Poisoned atmosphere?" Raj muttered. "Can't filter this fast." He stared at the cracked canisters on their ship's wall. They were using neurofungal coolant. "It's destabilized." "Translate that?" Dex asked. "It's very bad." Sasha crouched beside the largest Kovari, pressing her palm to its thorax. "Let me try something." She began humming, a soft, rhythmic melody. Raj blinked. "Are you singing?" Kovari communicate partially through vibration. Songs. Like whales. After a few seconds, the Kovari's breathing slowed. Dex stared. That was either magic or the weirdest lullaby I have ever heard. With the Kovari stable and routed to medical, the team returned to the bridge. "We need to get back on track," Elara said. "Ideas?" Raj frowned. "We can't use standard charts. Navigation's fried." Sasha turned slowly. "We could map gravitational harmonics." Elara raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "Some ancient civilizations used gravitational echoes, dying stars, black hole remnants. They sing, in a way. If we can match the waveforms, we can plot a path like constellations." "That's insane," Raj said. "Also, kind of brilliant." Dex grinned. "Welcome to the human method. Smart, dumb luck." 30 minutes later, Sasha's idea, backed by Raj's retooled sensors, plotted a new course through the nebula. They emerged near the Orzeth belt, where an ambush awaited. A Zoran hunter-killer frigate hovered, its spines extended, scanning for prey. "They haven't seen us yet," Dex said. "We could go loud, blow it apart." "No," Elara said. "Let's be clever." She turned to Sasha. "Can you mimic Zoran?" Sasha smiled. "Only the vulgar dialect, but that's probably their favorite." Moments later, A broadcast hit the enemy channel. This is Patrol Gamma 4. Found human debris. Scanners clean. Resuming sweep. The Zoran ship pivoted, turning away. Then Dex released a magnetic decoy pod, programmed to emit false distress signals in 20 seconds. Elara counted down. 3, 2, 1. The pod activated. The Zoran, thinking it was bait, moved to investigate. Elara gave the order. Fire! The Dauntless fired 2 kinetic lances. No flash, no sound, just force and annihilation. The Zoran ship split like glass under pressure, drifting silent in the void. Minimal damage, no alert sent, Raj said. That was almost graceful. Almost, Elara replied. Was this really our plan? Dex asked. Show up late, improvise constantly, confuse everyone, including ourselves, and win anyway. It's always been humanity's plan, Sasha said. Confusion is a tactic. Back in the medical bay, one of the Kovari stirred. Its mandibles clicked slowly, weak but deliberate. Elara knelt beside it. Your name? The translator clicked. Sakar. You're safe now. Scar tilted its head. You, humans, you vanished. The galaxy thought you were gone. We don't vanish, Elara said. We adapt. The Dauntless approached the edge of the resistance zone. Sasha projected Zoran communication webs. Raj adjusted their stealth envelope to reflect back null space static. Dex worked with engineering to detonate a series of debris clusters, creating a breadcrumb trail of false battles to mislead any tracking scans. Elara stood in silence, watching as war drew closer. Jarelion was near. The end, or the beginning, was waiting. Jarelion Prime was barely recognizable. Once a glowing hub of interstellar cooperation, it now looked like a carcass of a dying star. Broken orbital rings, shattered defense platforms, scorched shipyards. And hanging above the world like a rusted scythe was the Zoran Warden-class dreadnought, the Nex Viras. From the bridge of the Dauntless, Elara Vance surveyed the damage in silence. We're late, she finally said. Raj muttered, not as late as the cavalry in every old Earth movie. This is right on time for dramatic impact. Sasha brought up a scan. Resistance forces are down to 1/3. Last functional command ship is Kiro's Heart, holding out near the planet's night pole. They won't last more than an hour. Dex stepped forward, helmet under one arm, body armor scuffed but ready. Then we don't give them an hour. We give them a reason to fight. He looked at Elara. Time for your speech. I don't do speeches, she said. You do now, Raj added, because I just patched us into the entire resistance network. Elara inhaled. Then slowly, she spoke. This is Captain Elara Vance of the Earth vessel Dauntless. We know you fought without support. We know what it's like to scream into the dark and hear nothing back. But hear this. We are here. Earth did not forget you. We've been building, preparing. waiting for the moment to strike where it mattered most. You are not the end of the resistance. You are its fire, and fire is what they'll get. Cheers erupted across fractured battle comms. Ships once retreating banked back toward Jurelion's orbit. Small clusters of fighters, Velari, Kovari, even a rogue Sarnai corvette, rallied under the signal broadcasted from the Dauntless. Raj whistled. You missed your calling in politics. Let's hope I don't miss in strategy, Elara said. We'll punch a hole straight through to Kiro's heart. Once we're linked, we coordinate a full envelopment around the next Viras. We don't kill it. We confuse it, distract it, dismantle it. Human style. Wild and chaotic? Sasha asked. Exactly, Yinch. The Dauntless led the charge. The first engagement came fast. 3 Zoran interceptors firing plasma arcs in a tight formation. Pattern lock, Raj said. Predictable. Dex? Dex spun the control turret, firing twin EM flares that blinded the ship's sensors. The Dauntless banked left, and Sasha activated the mirror shield, a human-engineered tech that refracted energy blasts back at their source. The enemy ships burst apart, defeated by their own precision. They pushed forward through clouds of wreckage and chaos. More resistance ships joined them, each one emboldened by Earth's return. Old alliances rekindled mid-flight. War cries in dozens of languages rang across the void. Sasha redirected enemy comms to play Earth music, mostly 90s rock, and a clip of a goat screaming in slow motion. The Zorin, confused, redirected entire units to trace the audio weapon. Did we just weaponize meme culture? Dex asked. I prefer the term psyops with rhythm, Sasha replied. Halfway to Kiro's heart, they were hit. A cloaked Zoran mine latched onto the Dauntless's engine flank, triggering cascading system failures. We're losing attitude control, Raj yelled. Rerouting to auxiliary thrusters. We don't have auxiliary thrusters. I know, that's why I'm yelling. The ship pitched hard, tumbling toward a wreck field. Elara braced herself at the command rail. Eject the cargo rail, she ordered. Dex blinked. That's where the cryo garden was. Exactly. Still flammable? Dex's face lit up. Oh yeah. With the push of a button, the Dauntless jettisoned its cargo bay, which detonated in a stunning blossom of blue-green flame, pushing the ship clear of the debris and straight toward the Kiro's heart. Inside the heart's battered control deck, Admiral Ro Naylan, a grizzled four-eyed veteran with a voice like gravel, watched in disbelief as the Dauntless glided into formation beside them. A comm channel opened. Permission to link up? Elara asked. Naylan growled. About time, Earth! Let's end this! The combined Earth resistance fleet spread like wings around the next Viras. Sasha used Kovari telemetry to mimic Zoran command signals, faking mutiny broadcasts inside the Dreadnought's own systems. Raj synchronized a barrage of focused pulses with the rotation of the Viras's shield array, timing shots between micro-gaps only humans would dare exploit. Dex led a boarding pod team with volunteers from 3 species, each one outfitted with magnetic boots, pulse rifles, and a shared disregard for standard protocol. As the Vera spun in confusion, fighting internal sabotage and false data, Ilara watched the tide turn. "We're doing it," Raj said. "The impossible." "No," she corrected. "We're doing the human thing." With one final pulse, the dreadnought's core imploded in on itself, a silent nova of dark light and dispersing fire. The void trembled, then silence, followed by 1,000 overlapping cheers. The Zoran fleet fractured. Some ran, some surrendered, most simply stopped, because what they had faced was not just firepower. It was unpredictability, unity, adaptability. That ancient, maddening, glorious thing that made humanity so hard to erase. Back on the bridge of the Dauntless, the crew collapsed into their seats. "We're alive," Raj muttered. "More or less," Sasha added. "I smell burnt mango," Dex said. "I think it's you," Elara replied. The four of them looked out the viewport as Jarellion's night side began to glow, cities lighting up again, signals rising, life returning. The fires of battle still drifted like ghosts across Jarellion's orbit, but in the silence after the storm, a new sound rose. Hope. Elara stood at the Dauntless's viewing deck, watching shuttles crisscross the stars, rebuilding. Rescue vessels moved like fireflies, drawing survivors from debris fields. Factions that hadn't spoken in decades now stood shoulder to shoulder, carrying wounded and swapping stories over cracked helmets. From the corner of the bridge, Dex cleared his throat. "We just got a message from the Kovari Council." "Praise or threat?" Elara asked without turning. "They're gifting us a ceremonial broodstone." Raj looked up from his console. "Wait, doesn't that mean we're now technically married into their caste?" "Yep," Dex said, grinning. "Congratulations, Captain." Elara sighed. "Can't wait to explain that at the next Alliance meeting." Down in the lower decks, Sasha floated in the Dauntless's zero-G greenhouse, the last surviving node from the jettisoned cryogarden. She was reprogramming the artificial bees to pollinate new Terran Velari hybrids. Raj's voice came over the comms. "You're missing the celebration." "I'm cultivating food for 3 species," Sasha replied. "That's how I celebrate." "You know, you're the only one who could talk down a dying insectoid using a lullaby, fake a black hole's pulse to navigate, and still have time to hack alien propaganda." Sasha smiled faintly. "That's because I don't waste time talking to bees. You're literally... Goodbye, Raj." Click. Dex was already at the hangar, his arm around a tiny green technician from the Sarnai Rebellion. "You sure they're not genetically engineered ferrets?" Raj whispered as he arrived, eyeing the Sarnai's tail. "You say ferret, I say fuzzy angel of sabotage," Dex replied, watching the little being rewire an entire shuttle in 30 seconds. "Don't tell me you're taking one home." "I might be married now too. It's unclear." Raj shook his head. "You two are like chaos and caffeine wrapped in human skin." Dex grinned. "And yet, somehow, we win." Later that night, the Resistance fleet's new leaders gathered in the Jarellian concourse, beneath shattered glass domes that once housed diplomatic summits. Now patched with steel and neon banners, it was the beating heart of something reborn. Elara stood at the center of it all, flanked by Nalan of the Kiro, Sakar of the Kovari, and a dozen commanders who months ago had given up hope. Before we begin, Elara said, I want to make something clear. She tapped the table. Earth didn't return with dominance. We returned with possibility. We didn't survive the silence by being stronger. We survived it by being stubborn, by adapting, by reimagining every failure as a stepping stone. And if you think humanity's chaotic spirit is dangerous, you're right. It's dangerous to any force that believes fear is enough to win. She looked across the room. Let's make them fear something else. That night, the galactic network came alive. Every screen, every relay beacon, every outpost that still blinked in the dark received the same message, broadcast from Earth's restored flagship. We're here, not as conquerors, not as saviors. We are the voice that wouldn't stay silent. We are the fire that burns through extinction. We are human, and we just got started. In the weeks that followed, the rebuilding began in earnest. The Dauntless was no longer just a ship, it was a symbol. A story passed through alien marketplaces, pirate dens, and refugee arcs. Some called it a myth, others called it a miracle. But those who saw it with their own eyes, they called it a warning. Because now everyone remembered what it meant when Earth stopped watching and started moving. 3 months later, in a quiet edge system near a dormant wormhole, a lone Zoran scout activated its stealth probe. It pulsed once, twice. A response came, not in code, but in music. A slow, rising Earth melody, followed by static. Then a message. You found us again. Let's play.